Captain Jake Morrison pressed his face against the thick glass window of the ship's bridge. Earth looked like a tiny blue dot now, so far away that he could barely see it. 3 years ago, when they left home, Earth had filled the entire window. Now it was just another star in the endless black space around them. The Aurora was humanity's biggest ship ever built. 5,000 people lived inside it, traveling to a new world called Kepler 442b. The journey would take 12 years total. They were only 3 years in, but already Earth felt like a distant memory. Jake walked over to where Lisa Hayes sat at her computer station. She was the ship's communication officer, which meant she talked to Earth every day. Her job was to send reports about how everyone was doing and receive messages from home. "Any word from Houston today?" Jake asked. Lisa looked up from her screen with a confused expression. "That's the weird thing, Captain. I've been trying to reach them for 6 hours now. Nothing." Jake frowned. Houston Control always answered. They had answered every single day for 3 years and 1 month. Even during holidays, even during emergencies, someone was always there to talk. "Maybe their equipment broke," Jake said. "Try the backup stations." Lisa's fingers moved quickly across her keyboard. She tried calling the European Space Center in France. Nothing. Then she tried the Russian station in Moscow. Still nothing. The Chinese station in Beijing was also silent. Even the small stations in Australia and Canada did not answer. "This doesn't make sense," Lisa said. Her voice sounded worried now. "I'm not getting any signals from Earth at all, not even the automatic ones." Jake felt his stomach tighten. The automatic signals were supposed to work even if all the people died. They were simple computer programs that sent out a basic message every hour saying, "Earth is here, Earth is okay." These signals had been broadcasting for over 100 years. "Check again," Jake said. "Check everything." Lisa spent the next 4 hours checking every frequency, every channel, every way they had to talk to Earth. She tried the emergency channels that were only supposed to be used if Earth was under attack. She tried the military channels. She tried the civilian channels. She even tried the old radio frequencies that regular people used to talk to each other. Nothing. Complete silence. Other people on the ship started to notice. Dr. Linda Weber, the ship's doctor, came to the bridge with a worried look on her face. "Captain, my daughter was supposed to send me a video message today. It's her birthday. She's never missed sending me a message on important days." Then came Chief Engineer Bobby Clark. "My wife always sends me the weekly sports scores. Haven't heard from her in 2 days now." Soon, dozens of people were asking Jake the same question. Why wasn't Earth talking to them anymore? Jake called a meeting with his senior officers. They gathered in the conference room, a small space with a round table and chairs. Besides Jake and Lisa, there were 5 other people who helped run the ship. "Tell them what you told me," Jake said to Lisa. Lisa looked nervous. 3 days ago, all communication with Earth stopped. Not just the personal messages, but everything. The automatic beacon signals, the weather reports, the news broadcasts, even the basic "we are alive" signals that computers send out every hour. Dr. Weber raised her hand. Could there have been a solar storm? Sometimes those can interfere with radio signals. "I checked," Lisa said. "Our instruments show no unusual solar activity. Besides, solar storms usually last only a few hours or days. This has been going on for 3 days straight." Bobby Clark scratched his beard. "What about a war? Maybe someone attacked all the communication centers at the same time?" "Even if that happened," Lisa replied, "the automatic systems are spread all over the world. They're in underground bunkers, on submarines, even on the moon. Someone would have to attack hundreds of locations at exactly the same time to stop all of them." The room went quiet. Everyone was thinking the same terrible thought, but nobody wanted to say it out loud. Finally, Jake spoke. "Are you thinking that everyone on Earth is dead?" Lisa shook her head quickly. "I don't think so. If there had been a nuclear war or a plague or something like that, we would have received emergency messages before the end. People would have had time to send out warnings." "Then what?" asked Dr. Weber. "I think they chose to go silent," Lisa said. "I think someone decided that Earth should stop talking to space." Everyone stared at her. The idea sounded crazy, but it was the only explanation that made sense. Back on Earth, Dr. Alan Carter sat in a secret room deep underground. The room had no windows and thick concrete walls. Computer screens covered every wall, showing data from around the world. This was the Global Communications Control Center, and Alan was in charge of it. For the past 6 months, Alan had been trying to convince world leaders to try something that had never been done before. He wanted Earth to go completely silent. No radio signals, no television broadcasts, no digital messages sent into space. Nothing. "Sir," said his assistant, Mary Johnson, "the president is on the secure line. She wants to know if you're really going through with this." Alan picked up the red phone on his desk. "Hello, Madam President." "Alan, are you absolutely sure about this?" President Helen Martinez asked. "We're talking about cutting off all communication with our people in space. The Aurora has 5,000 people on it. They'll think we're all dead. Madam President, we've been broadcasting our location and our weaknesses to the entire galaxy for over a century. Every radio show, every television program, every internet signal has been leaking into space. Anyone out there knows exactly where we are, how many of us there are, and how we fight our wars. But we don't know if anyone is actually listening," the president said. "With respect, ma'am, that's exactly the problem. We don't know. We've been assuming we're alone, but what if we're not? What if someone has been watching us this whole time, learning about us, waiting for the right moment to make contact or to attack?" Alan looked at the big red button on his desk. This button would activate Protocol Whisper, his plan to make Earth go silent. Every country in the world had agreed to it, but actually doing it felt scary. "If we go silent," Alan continued, "we'll learn something important. If nobody notices, then we really are alone and we can go back to normal. But if someone does notice, if someone comes looking for us or starts acting differently, then we'll know we were being watched." The president was quiet for a long moment. "And you think this is worth making our own people think we're dead?" "Madam President, I think it's worth finding out who else is out there before they decide to introduce themselves to us." "All right, Alan, do it. But if this goes wrong, if our people in space get hurt because they think they're alone, it's on your head." Alan hung up the phone and looked at Mary. She was young, maybe 25 years old, and she looked scared. "Are you ready?" Alan asked. Mary nodded and put her hand on a second button. They had to press both buttons at the same time to activate Protocol Whisper. "On 3, Alan said. 1, 2, 3. They pressed the buttons together. Immediately, every screen in the room began showing the same message. "Global communications blackout active. All external signals terminated." Around the world, radio towers stopped broadcasting. Television stations went dark. Internet connections to satellites were cut. Even the old emergency beacons that had been sending simple signals for decades went silent. For the first time in over 100 years, Earth stopped talking to the universe. Alan leaned back in his chair and looked at the screens. "Now we wait," he said. "Now we see who was listening." 3 light-years away from Earth, Kethvar stared at his computer screen in confusion. The tall, blue-skinned alien had been watching Earth for 47 years. His job was to study humans and write reports about what they did. His people, the Veltar, found humans very interesting. Kethvar worked on a big research ship called the Nexus Prime. The ship floated in empty space far enough from Earth that humans could not see it, but close enough that powerful telescopes and listening devices could watch everything that happened on the human world. For 47 years, Kethvar had listened to human radio shows, watched their television programs, and read their internet messages. He knew about human wars, human music, human love stories, and human jokes. He had learned to speak 12 different human languages. He probably knew more about human culture than most humans did. But now, for the first time in 47 years, Earth was completely quiet. Kethvar pressed buttons on his computer, trying different frequencies and channels. Maybe his equipment was broken. Maybe there was interference from a nearby star. But no matter what he tried, he heard nothing from Earth. He called his assistant, a younger Veltar named Limra. Come, here quickly, he said. Something is wrong with the human homeworld. Limra hurried over to Kethavar's station. She was new to the job, only 5 years of watching humans. What is the problem? She asked. Listen, Kethavar said. He turned up the speakers that usually played human radio signals. Instead of music and talking, there was only static noise. Limra frowned. Are you sure your equipment is working? Checked everything twice. The equipment is fine. The humans have stopped broadcasting. Maybe they are sleeping. It is nighttime on part of their world. Kethavar shook his head. Humans never all sleep at the same time. They live all around their planet. When it is night in one place, it is day in another place. There should always be some signals. Maybe they are having technical problems. For 3 days? Humans fix technical problems very quickly. That is one of the things that makes them interesting to study. Limra looked worried now. Should we report this to Commander Zarath? Kethavar thought about it. Commander Zarath was the leader of the Andromedan Council, a group that represented many different alien species. She was also very scary when she was angry. But this situation was important enough to disturb her. Yes, Kethavar said. Send her an urgent message. 2 hours later, Kethavar received a reply from Commander Zarath. The message was short. Emergency council meeting in 12 hours. Bring all data about human communication patterns. The emergency. Meeting took place on a neutral space station near the center of the galaxy. Representatives from 17 different alien species came to discuss the human situation. Some came in person, others appeared as holograms projected into the meeting room. Commander Zarath was a tall, elegant being with silver skin and 4 arms. She had been alive for over 800 years and had seen many strange things in the galaxy. But even she looked concerned as she started the meeting. We are here to discuss the sudden silence from the human homeworld called Earth, she said. Kethavar of the Veltar has been our primary human observer. Please tell us what you have discovered. Kethavar stood up nervously. He was not used to speaking in front of so many important beings. 3 days ago, all communication from Earth stopped. Not just the normal radio and television signals, but also the automatic beacon signals that have been broadcasting for over 100 human years. A reptilian being named Sethek raised one of his clawed hands. Could this be equipment failure? Unlikely, Kethavar replied. Humans have communication equipment all over their planet and in space around their planet. All of it would have to fail at exactly the same time. A floating blob of energy that called itself Flux spoke next. Its voice sounded like wind blowing through metal tubes. Could they have destroyed themselves in a war? Also unlikely. We monitor their military communications constantly. There were no signs of increased military activity before the silence began. Commander Zarath leaned forward in her chair. What are the possible explanations? Kethavar had prepared for this question. I see 3 possibilities. First, they destroyed themselves so quickly that they had no time to send distress signals. Second, something else destroyed them or captured them. Third, they chose to go silent on purpose. The room filled with worried chatter. Different species spoke in their own languages, creating a mix of sounds like growls, whistles, and electronic beeps. Commander Zarath raised all 4 of her hands for silence. The third option concerns me the most. Why would humans choose to go silent? Perhaps they discovered they were being watched, suggested a robot-like being called Unit 7749. The chatter in the room became louder and more worried. Many species had been watching Earth, but they had assumed humans were too primitive to notice. Kethavar cleared his throat. There is something else you should know. Humans are not as primitive as we first thought. In recent years, their technology has advanced very rapidly. They have also become better at detecting things in space. How much better? Asked Commander Zarath. Last year, they detected an asteroid that was only 10 meters wide from a distance of 2 million kilometers. If they can see something that small, they might be able to see our ships. A creature that looked like a walking tree with eyes spoke in a voice like rustling leaves. If humans know we are watching them, why would they go silent instead of trying to communicate with us? Maybe they are afraid, suggested Limra, who had been listening quietly. Or maybe they are being strategic, said Kethvar. Humans are very good at strategy. They often do unexpected things that confuse their enemies. Unit 7749's electronic voice crackled. If humans have gone silent to hide from us, what does that tell us about their intentions? It tells us they are smarter than we thought, said Commander Zarath, and it tells us we may have underestimated them. The meeting continued for several hours. Each species shared what they knew about humans. The Veltar had been studying human culture and behavior. The mechanical beings had been analyzing human technology. The flux entities had been monitoring human energy usage. The tree-like Verdani had been watching human agriculture and environmental changes. All of them had the same problem. They had become addicted to watching humans. Humans were the most entertaining species in the galaxy. They were unpredictable, creative, and always fighting against impossible odds. Other species had become boring after thousands of years of space travel and advanced technology. But humans were still surprising. I have a confession, said Sethak, the reptilian being. My people have been placing bets on human survival. We gamble on whether they will survive their wars, their disasters, and their own stupidity. Several other species admitted they had been doing the same thing. Humans had become the galaxy's favorite reality show. This is embarrassing, said Commander Zarath. We are supposed to be advanced civilizations, and we have been treating humans like entertainment. What do we do now? Asked the tree being. Commander Zarath was quiet for a long moment. We have three choices. First, we can wait and see if humans start communicating again. Second, we can try to make contact with them directly. Third, we can send scout ships to investigate what happened to them. What if they went silent because they developed weapons that could threaten us? Asked Unit 7749. Then we need to know about it, replied Commander Zarath. A species that can go from primitive radio to complete communications control in less than a century might be capable of other rapid advances. Kethvar raised his hand. There is a fourth option. What if something else made them go silent? What if another species invaded Earth while we were all just watching? The room went completely quiet. This was the most frightening possibility of all. If some unknown enemy had attacked Earth, they might attack other worlds next. We need more information, said Commander Zarath. I am authorizing scout missions from 3 different species. Stay far enough away that humans cannot detect you, but get close enough to see what is happening on their planet. What if they can detect us? Asked Sethak. Then we will have our answer about how advanced they have become, replied Commander Zarath. As the meeting ended, Kethvar felt worried. For 47 years, watching humans had been a peaceful job. Now it might become dangerous. But he realized something important. After decades of studying humans, he had started to care about what happened to them. He hoped they were still alive. He hoped they were just being clever. But most of all, he hoped that when the truth came out, humans would not be angry that so many species had been watching them without permission. The galaxy was about to become a much more complicated place. Colonel Sam Rodriguez floated in the zero-gravity chamber of Shepard Base, the secret lunar outpost that most people on Earth did not know existed. Through the thick glass window, he could see Earth hanging in space like a blue and white marble. But Sam was not looking at Earth. He was looking at the strange ships that had appeared at the edge of the solar system. Sir, we have 17 confirmed alien vessels now, said Lieutenant Nancy Torres, his communications officer. 3 more arrived in the past 6 hours. Sam pushed himself over to the main observation station. The powerful telescopes showed him what looked like a small fleet of ships, each one different from the others. Some were long and thin like needles. Others were round like balls. One looked like a giant crystal that sparkled in the sunlight. Any of them trying to communicate with us? Sam asked. Negative, sir. They're just sitting there, watching. But our instruments are picking up a lot of radio chatter between them. They're definitely talking to each other. Sam had been the commander of Shepherd Base for 8 years. The base was built inside an old crater on the far side of the moon, hidden from Earth's view. Its job was to watch for threats from space and to serve as humanity's first line of defense if aliens ever showed up. Well, aliens had definitely shown up now. "Get me a secure line to Earth," Sam ordered. "I need to speak with President Martinez." 10 minutes later, Sam was talking to the president through an encrypted channel that bounced signals off 3 different satellites to avoid being intercepted. "Madam President, we have a situation up here," Sam said. "The alien ships keep coming. They're not approaching Earth directly, but they're clearly watching us." President Helen Martinez sounded tired on the other end of the line. "How many ships are we talking about, Colonel?" 17 confirmed, ma'am. Possibly more that we haven't detected yet. They're keeping their distance, but they're definitely studying us. Any signs of hostile intent? Hard to say, ma'am. They're not pointing weapons at us, but then again, we don't know what their weapons look like. The concerning thing is that they showed up right after we went silent. That can't be a coincidence. The president was quiet for a moment. Dr. Carter thinks this proves his theory was right. He believes these aliens have been watching us for a long time, and our silence made them worried enough to come investigate. With respect, ma'am, I don't care if Dr. Carter was right. I care about keeping Earth safe. These aliens have technology that's clearly more advanced than ours. If they decide to attack, we're not ready. What do you recommend, Colonel? I recommend we end the communications blackout immediately. If these aliens are here because they're worried about us, then maybe we should let them know we're okay. I'll discuss it with the Security Council, the president said. In the meantime, keep watching them. And Colonel, if any of those ships start moving toward Earth, you let me know immediately. 3 billion kilometers away, Captain Jake Morrison was having his own alien encounter. The Aurora had been traveling in deep space for 3 years, far from any planet or star. It was the last place Jake expected to meet anyone. But there it was on the ship's sensors. An alien vessel, roughly the same size as the Aurora, keeping pace with them at a distance of about 50,000 kilometers. How long has it been following us? Jake asked Lisa Hayes. I first detected it 6 hours ago, Lisa replied. It appeared out of nowhere, like it was waiting for us. Dr. Linda Weber joined them on the bridge. Captain, I'm getting worried reports. From all over the ship. People are seeing strange lights outside the windows. They're scared. Jake looked out the main view screen. Sure enough, there were small lights moving around the Aurora, like fireflies dancing in the darkness of space. Those aren't lights, said Chief Engineer Bobby Clark, studying his instruments. Those are small ships. Dozens of them, maybe hundreds. They're tiny, maybe the size of a car each. Are they scanning us? Jake asked. Definitely. I'm reading. Energy beams hitting our hull from multiple directions. Nothing harmful, just curious. Suddenly, the ship's main communication system crackled to life. A voice spoke in clear English, though it had a strange accent that Jake couldn't identify. Human vessel Aurora, this is the research ship Nexus Prime. We mean you no harm. We are investigating the status of your homeworld. Please respond. Jake looked at his crew. They all stared back at him with wide eyes. This was humanity's first contact with an alien species, and it was happening because Earth had gone silent. This is Captain Jake Morrison of the Aurora, Jake said into the microphone. Who am I speaking with? I am Cathvar of the Veltar species. We have been observing your people for many years. Your homeworld has stopped all communications. We are concerned about your welfare. Jake felt a mix of anger and confusion. You've been watching us for how long? 47 of your years. Please do not be alarmed. We have not interfered with your development. We have simply been studying your fascinating culture. Our fascinating culture? Jake's voice rose. You've been spying on us for 47 years? We prefer the term observing. Many species have been watching Earth. Humans are unique in the galaxy. You solve problems in ways that other species find surprising and entertaining. Bobby Clark whispered to Jake, Captain, I'm detecting at least 12 other alien ships in the area. They're all hiding behind asteroids and debris, but they're definitely watching this conversation. Jake realized that this first contact was being witnessed by multiple alien species. Whatever he said next would represent all of humanity to beings they had never met before. Kethvar, you said you're concerned about our welfare. Why? Your homeworld has been silent for 5 days now. This is unprecedented. We fear that your species may have encountered a catastrophe. Some of our colleagues believe you may have been attacked by an unknown enemy. And what do you believe? I believe humans are too clever to be easily destroyed. I think you chose to go silent for a strategic reason, but I need to know if you are safe, because many species are preparing to investigate your homeworld directly. Jake felt a chill run down his spine. How many species are we talking about? Currently, 17 different civilizations have ships moving toward your solar system. Some wish to offer assistance, others. Kethvar paused. Others see opportunity in what they believe is a weakened or destroyed human civilization. Dr. Weber stepped forward. Captain, we need to warn Earth. Kethvar, Jake said, can you help us contact our homeworld? I can relay a message, but I cannot guarantee your people will receive it. They have shut down all communication systems very thoroughly. Try anyway. Tell them that aliens are coming to investigate Earth's silence, and not all of them are friendly. We'll try, Captain Morrison. But I must warn you, some species will not wait much longer for answers. They are preparing to send ships into your solar system within the next few days. Back on Earth, Dr. Alan Carter was beginning to realize that his plan might have worked too well. Protocol Whisper had been designed to reveal if anyone was watching. Earth. The answer was clearly yes, but now that knowledge was creating a new problem. His assistant, Mary Johnson, burst into his office. Dr. Carter, we're getting strange readings from our deep space monitoring stations. There's a lot of radio chatter coming from the outer solar system, but it's not in any human language. How much chatter? Alan asked. Enough to suggest at least 20 different sources. Sir, I think there are alien ships out there and they're talking to each other about us. Alan sat down heavily in his chair. Get me the president on the secure line. Right away, sir. But Dr. Carter, there's something else. We just received a transmission from the Aurora. Captain Morrison says he's been contacted by aliens, and they're warning us that hostile species are heading our way. Alan felt his stomach drop. His plan to discover if Earth was being watched had succeeded beyond his worst fears. Not only were aliens watching Earth, but some of them were preparing to take action. Mary, start preparing to end the communications blackout. We may need to start talking to these aliens before they decide to take matters into their own hands. Yes. Sir, should I prepare a first contact protocol? Alan almost laughed. Humanity had been planning for first contact for decades, but all their plans assumed that humans would be the ones to initiate contact. They never imagined that aliens would come looking for them because Earth had gone silent. Yes, prepare the first contact protocol, but also prepare our defense systems. If some of these aliens are hostile, we need to be ready. As Mary hurried to carry out his orders, Alan looked out his office window at the night sky. Somewhere up there, alien ships were gathering, and humanity was about to learn that they were not alone in the universe. The irony was not lost on him. By trying to hide from the galaxy, humanity had forced the galaxy to come to them. Admiral Kelly Brooks had been a fighter pilot, a test pilot, and a space station commander. But nothing in her 25 years of military service had prepared her for her new job. Head of Earth's first alien contact division. The division had been created 3 days ago, right after President Martinez received Colonel Rodriguez's report about alien ships gathering near Earth. Kelly stood in the newly built command center deep beneath the Pentagon. Dozens of computer screens showed radar data, satellite images, and radio signals from space. Her team of linguists, scientists, and military officers worked frantically to understand what was happening above their heads. Admiral, we now have 23 confirmed alien vessels in our solar system, reported Commander Pete Sullivan, her intelligence officer. They're maintaining distance, but they're definitely studying us. Any direct communication attempts? Kelly asked. Several. We've received messages in 17 different languages, though our computers are having trouble translating most of them. The The clearest message came from something called the Veltar research ship. They're asking if we need help. Kelly looked at the main screen, which showed a map of the solar system with small dots representing alien ships. Most of the dots were clustered near the outer planets, but a few were getting closer. What about the hostile ones that Captain Morrison warned us about? Commander Sullivan pointed to 3 red dots on the screen. These ships arrived yesterday. They're not responding to any communication attempts, and they're moving in formation like a military fleet. Our analysts think they might be from a species called the Korthak Empire. What do we know about the Korthak Empire? Very little. The friendly aliens mentioned them as one of the more aggressive species in the galaxy. They apparently believe that might makes right, and they're not known for diplomatic solutions. Kelly felt the weight of responsibility on her shoulders. Humanity's first contact with alien life was happening under the worst possible circumstances. Instead of a peaceful meeting between species, it looked like Earth might be about to become a battleground. "Get me a secure line to the president," Kelly ordered. 5 minutes later, Kelly was briefing President Martinez over an encrypted video call. "Madam President, the situation is escalating rapidly. We have confirmed alien vessels from at least 8 different species in our solar system. Some appear friendly, others are unknown, and at least one group appears hostile." President Martinez looked tired. She had not slept much in the past week. "What are our options, Admiral?" "We have 3 choices, ma'am. First, we can continue the communications blackout and hope the aliens lose interest and leave. Second, we can break our silence and try to communicate with them. Third, we can prepare for the possibility of conflict. What's your recommendation?" Kelly had been thinking about this question for hours. "I recommend we end the communications blackout immediately and attempt diplomatic contact. The longer we stay silent, the more suspicious and aggressive these aliens are likely to become." Dr. Carter disagrees. He thinks we should maintain silence until we understand their intentions better. "With respect, ma'am, Dr. Carter's experiment has already succeeded. We now know that aliens exist and they've been watching us, but continuing the experiment might get us all killed." The president was quiet for a moment. "All right, Admiral. Prepare a message to broadcast to the alien ships. Keep it simple and peaceful. Let them know we're alive and well, but don't reveal any information about our military capabilities or weaknesses." "Yes, ma'am. What about the Aurora? Captain Morrison is in direct contact with one of the alien species. Tell Captain Morrison that he's now our unofficial ambassador. Whatever he says to those aliens represents all of humanity." Meanwhile, 3 billion kilometers away, Captain Jake Morrison was learning things about the galaxy that no human had ever known before. Kethvar had been very talkative once he realized that humans were alive and well. "Your species is classified as a Tier 2 developing threat," Kethvar explained over the radio. "This means you are too dangerous to ignore, but not advanced enough for full diplomatic contact." "Dangerous how?" Jake asked. He was floating in the Aurora's communication center, surrounded by his senior officers who were all listening to this. Incredible conversation. Humans are unpredictable. Most species follow logical patterns of behavior. You can predict what they will do in most situations. But humans do impossible things. You fight wars you cannot win. You take risks that should kill you. You solve problems in ways that no computer can calculate. Dr. Linda Weber raised her hand. "Is that why you've been watching us?" "Partly, but mostly because you are entertaining. Other species in the galaxy are very old and very predictable. They have been traveling in space for thousands of years. They rarely surprise anyone anymore. But humans are always surprising." Bobby Clark laughed. "You've been watching us like a television show?" "In a way, yes. Many species place bets on human survival. They gamble on whether you will survive your wars, your disasters, your own mistakes. Some universities use recordings of human behavior to teach problem-solving courses." Jake felt embarrassed and angry at the same time. "So we're entertainment to you?" "Please do not be offended, Captain Morrison. Your unpredictability is why many species respect you, even though your technology is primitive. A species that can survive as long as humans have, despite being so chaotic and violent, must be doing something right." What about the hostile species that are heading toward Earth? Kethavar's voice became more serious. The Korthik Empire believes that your silence means you have developed new weapons or discovered something valuable. They want to claim Earth's resources before other species can take them. And the other hostile species? The Zephyrian Collective thinks your planet may be abandoned and ready for colonization. The Draconic Houses believe you may have been conquered by an enemy they want to identify and possibly ally with. Dr. Weber looked worried. How long do we have before they reach Earth? The fastest ships will arrive at your homeworld in approximately 48 hours. The Korthak battle fleet will arrive in 72 hours. Jake made a decision that would change human history. Kethavar, we need your help. Can you contact the other friendly species and ask them to help us communicate with Earth? I can try, Captain Morrison. But you should know that helping humans might put my people at risk. If the Korthak Empire decides we are interfering with their plans, they might attack us as well. Why would you take that risk for us? Kethavar was quiet for a long moment. Because in 47 years of watching your species, I have learned something important. Humans may be chaotic and unpredictable, but you are also brave and loyal. You protect each other, even when it costs you greatly. The galaxy needs more species like that. Back on Earth, Admiral Brooks was preparing humanity's first official message to alien civilizations. She had assembled a team of diplomats, scientists, and linguists to help craft the perfect words. Keep it short and simple, she told her team. We want to sound confident but not aggressive, friendly but not weak. Dr. Sarah Kim, the team's lead linguist, looked up from her computer. Admiral, we have a problem. How do we address multiple alien species at once without offending anyone? We don't know their diplomatic protocols or cultural sensitivities. We'll have to wing it, Kelly replied. This is literally the first time any human has done this. After 2 hours of writing and rewriting, they had their message. It was only 50 words long, but those 50 words would announce humanity's presence to the galaxy as a conscious, intelligent civilization. Kelly read the message one final time. This is Admiral Kelly Brooks of the planet Earth. We are alive, and well. We chose to go silent temporarily as a security measure. We are aware of your presence in our solar system and welcome peaceful contact. We mean no harm to any species and hope for friendship among all civilizations. Are you ready to broadcast this, Admiral? Asked Commander Sullivan. Kelly thought about the consequences of what she was about to do. Once this message was sent, humanity would officially be part of galactic civilization. There would be no going back to the time when Earth was just a quiet planet spinning alone in space. Broadcast the message on all frequencies, she ordered, and send copies to every alien ship in our solar system. The message was transmitted at the speed of light, racing toward alien ships throughout the solar system. Within minutes, humanity would have its answer. Would first contact be peaceful, or would Earth become a battlefield? As the message traveled through space, Kelly realized something important. Dr. Carter's plan to learn who was watching Earth had worked perfectly, but now humanity faced a much bigger challenge, proving they deserved a place among the stars. In deep space, Kethavar received Earth's message at the same time as 17 other alien species. The galaxy was about to meet humanity officially, and everyone was curious to see what these unpredictable humans would do next. The age of human isolation was over. The age of galactic diplomacy had begun. The response to Earth's message came faster than anyone expected. Within 6 hours, Admiral Kelly Brooks had received replies from 12 different alien species. Some were friendly greetings, others were warnings about hostile forces, and few were demands for tribute and surrender. Admiral, the Korthak Empire just sent us an ultimatum, reported Commander Sullivan. They're giving us 24 hours to prove we haven't developed dangerous weapons, or they'll consider us a threat to galactic security. Kelly looked at the translation on her screen. The Korthak message was simple and brutal. Primitive species of Earth. You will allow inspection of your military facilities and weapon systems. Refusal will result in defensive action to protect galactic peace. Defensive action, Kelly muttered. They're planning to attack us and calling it defense. Doctor, Sarah Kim rushed over with a tablet in her hands. "Admiral, I've been analyzing the friendly messages. The Veltar want to help us, but they're afraid of starting a war. Several other species are offering to speak on our behalf to something called the Galactic Council." "There's a Galactic Council?" "Apparently. It's like the United Nations, but for the entire galaxy. The problem is that humans have never been invited to join because we're considered too primitive and dangerous." Kelly realized that humanity was caught in an impossible situation. They were too primitive to be respected as equals, but too dangerous to be ignored. Going silent had forced the galaxy to notice them, but now they had to prove they deserved to be treated as a legitimate civilization. "Get me President Martinez on the secure line," Kelly ordered. Meanwhile, Captain Jake Morrison was having the most important conversation in human history. Kethvar had explained that several friendly species were willing to help Earth, but only if humans could prove they were mature enough for galactic society. "What do we have to prove?" Jake asked. "That you chose to go silent for intelligent reasons, not because you were planning aggression or hiding dangerous weapons," Kethvar replied. "The galaxy is full of species that developed powerful technology too quickly and destroyed themselves or became threats to others." Dr. Linda Weber joined the conversation. "Kethvar, what would convince the hostile species to leave us alone? You would need to demonstrate strategic thinking, peaceful intentions, and the ability to contribute something valuable to galactic civilization. Most species join the galactic community by offering trade, knowledge, or resources." Bobby Clark laughed grimly. "What could we possibly offer to civilizations that have been traveling space for thousands of years?" "You underestimate yourselves," Kethvar said. "Humans solve problems differently than other species. Your unpredictability and creativity are valuable traits. Many galactic conflicts have gone unsolved for centuries because all the involved species think in similar ways." Jake had an idea. "Kethvar, you said the galaxy has been watching us for decades. That means you've seen how humans handle impossible situations." "Yes. We have observed your wars, your disasters, your conflicts with nature and each other. Then you know that humans don't give up easily. We don't surrender when things look hopeless. We find solutions that nobody expects. This is true. It is one of the most fascinating things about your species." Jake looked at his crew, then made a decision that would define humanity's future. "Tell the Korthak Empire and any other hostile species that we want to address the Galactic Council directly. We're not going to hide and we're not going to surrender. We're going to prove that humans deserve respect." On Earth, President Martinez was making a similar decision. She had called an emergency meeting with world leaders to discuss humanity's response to the alien ultimatum. "Dr. Carter, this situation exists because of your protocol whisper experiment," the president said. "What do you recommend we do now?" Dr. Alan Carter looked tired but determined. "Madam President, the experiment worked exactly as planned. We learned that aliens exist, that they've been watching us, and that some of them are hostile. Now we use that knowledge to our advantage. How? We tell them the truth. We went silent because we're intelligent enough to be strategic. We discovered we were being watched, and we chose to control what information we revealed. That's not the action of a primitive species. That's the action of a civilization that thinks before it acts." President Martinez turned to Admiral Brooks. "Kelly, what's the military situation?" "The Korthak battle fleet will reach Earth in 18 hours. We have nuclear weapons, but their ships probably have technology that makes our weapons useless. However, we do have one advantage." "What's that?" "They don't know what we're capable of. They're used to fighting predictable enemies with conventional strategies. Humans don't fight conventionally." The president made her decision. "We're going to do something that nobody expects. We're going to invite the galaxy to witness humanity's first official statement to galactic civilization. Dr. Carter, end the communications blackout. Admiral Brooks, prepare a broadcast that will reach every alien ship in our solar system and beyond." "What message do you want to send?" Kelly asked. "The truth. That humans went silent not because we were weak, but because we were smart enough to be cautious. And now we're ready to take our place in the galaxy." 6 hours later, Earth, broadcast its most important message in human history. The transmission was sent on every frequency, in every language that human computers could manage, and with enough power to reach alien ships throughout the solar system. President Martinez spoke for all of humanity. I am President Helen Martinez, of the planet Earth, speaking for 7 billion human beings. We went silent not from fear but from wisdom. We discovered we were being observed, and we chose to learn about you before revealing ourselves completely. This was a strategic decision, made by an intelligent civilization that understands the value of careful planning. The message continued. We are aware that some species consider us primitive or dangerous. We are neither. We are a young civilization that has survived and thrived despite numerous challenges. We have learned to work together, to solve impossible problems, and to never surrender in the face of adversity. These traits have helped us survive on our world, and we believe they can help us contribute to galactic civilization. To the species that threaten us, we are not afraid of you, but we do not wish to fight you. We offer friendship and cooperation instead of conflict. To the species that offer friendship, we gratefully accept your support and look forward to learning from your wisdom. Humanity is ready to join the galactic community as equals, not as subjects or conquerors. We have much to learn, but we also have much to offer. Judge us not by our youth or our differences, but by our actions and our intentions. The response was immediate and overwhelming. Within an hour, Earth had received messages from over 40 different alien species. Most were expressions of surprise and respect. Even some of the previously hostile species sent messages asking for peaceful negotiation instead of conflict. The Korthak Empire sent a brief message. Humans demonstrate strategic intelligence. We withdraw territorial claims and request formal diplomatic contact. Kethavar sent a longer message to Captain Morrison. Captain, your species has impressed the galaxy. The Galactic Council has voted to offer humanity associate membership. This is unprecedented for such a young civilization. But the most important message came from Commander Zarath of the Andromedan Council. Humans of Earth, your response to galactic contact demonstrates wisdom, courage, and strategic thinking. The galaxy welcomes you as a partner in peace and Dao exploration. 6 months later, Captain Morrison's ship had been converted into humanity's first official diplomatic vessel. He traveled between alien worlds, representing Earth in negotiations and treaties. Dr. Linda Weber had established the first human-alien medical research partnership, working with Kethavar's people to share knowledge about biology and medicine. On Earth, Admiral Brooks ran the new Department of Galactic Relations, managing communication with dozens of alien species. Colonel Rodriguez expanded Shepard Base into humanity's first interstellar defense station, working with friendly alien species to protect Earth from future threats. Dr. Carter had become something of a celebrity in the galaxy. His Protocol Whisper experiment was studied by alien strategists as an example of how young civilizations could successfully make first contact. Other developing species were now copying his approach. President Martinez often reflected on how humanity's brief silence had spoken louder than decades of radio broadcasts ever could. By choosing when to speak and when to listen, humans had earned something that couldn't be taken by force: respect. Earth was no longer a lonely planet spinning in empty space. It was part of a vast galactic community, and humanity had proven they belonged among the stars not through superior weapons or technology, but through intelligence, courage, and the wisdom to know that sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is choose your moment to break the silence. The galaxy had been watching humanity for decades, waiting to see what they would do. When Earth went silent, the aliens panicked. But when humanity finally spoke again, they spoke as equals ready to take their place among the stars.